Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you books no one is talking about, underhyped books. I'm not sure what I'm going to title this, but it's going to be something like that. Books that you will not be seeing talked about widely on Booktube, but they should be because they deserve it. So I am here to do these books justice and give them the attention they deserve. So without further ado, the first book is Would You Rather by Allison Ashley. And this is gotta be one of my favorite marriage of convenience fake date. Because fake date, I don't love a fake date, guys. I know it's very popular, but it's just the same spin on it. Lack of spin, actually. There's no spin. Like the same thing over and over and over. So this one is a little bit different. So let me see, what are their names? I forgot. Noah and Mia have been best friends their whole life. They're adults now, still best friends. But Noah's always had a thing for her. But she's kind of been preoccupied and hasn't really noticed because she has a chronic illness that's kind of taken up a lot of her time. And she also kind of pushes relationships to the side because she doesn't think it's fair to be in a relationship with someone because of the undue burden that would put on a relationship. And she just doesn't think it's fair. She will eventually need a kidney transplant. So she just feels like it's not a good idea to be in a relationship with her health problems. She is still in college, or she's going for a PhD or something like that. And she will be dropped from her insurance. So Noah, who has a really good job and good insurance, says, okay, let's get married and you can finish school. You can have your health care that you need. And, if whatever you need this transplant, you'll be able to get it. And, once you're done with school, I guess we can get divorced. So she's really apprehensive about this, but she does do it because it's her health. And unfortunately, that's decisions that people have to make. But Noah's very excited because they have to obviously seem legitimate. They have to pretend to be married. But he's in love with her. So he's great. I'm all for this. They get to live together and everything. So as time goes on, things start to develop mutually, but she is really struggling with it because of everything I mentioned before about the burden on people that she perceives as a burden and just kind of what is required because of her illness. And she really does not want to pursue things with Noah because of that. But Noah's already in love with her and he's been there for her through all of this. So it's a very cute fake date marriage of convenience, but with the chronic illness kind of makes it in the plot, makes it look more serious and more realistic because with healthcare, she has to have healthcare. So there is a more serious and I think intense take on the fake date marriage of convenience. It's not the most it's not like there hasn't been other books that kind of take this marriage of convenience route because of health issues, but I just think it's done really well. I love Noah. I think Mia, while misguided in her kind of oh, I can't be in a relationship because I have this illness, I think her heart is very much well-meaning and stuff like that. So they are just so cute together. And yeah, why is this book not being talked about more? The next book is Behind Every Good Man, and that is by Sara Goodman Confino. And this just came out in 2024. It actually was a nominee for Best Historical Fiction in 2024. And I think that's where I found it because every year I go through all the nominees and see if I've missed stuff and added any books that, slipped under my radar. And so that's how I found this book and then just recently read it this year. And I'm that's it. Obviously on Goodreads, it has really high reviews. It has very good reviews on Goodreads, but I have not heard a peep about it on Booktube. And I'm why? It's amazing. So basically it is about, here's one way to summarize it. If you like the Marvelous Miss Maisel, it's that, but instead of comedy, it's politics. Beverly finds her husband in a compromised position, and yeah, their marriage is over. And she comes from a very high pedigree political family, and out of spite, she decides to help her husband. Okay, so her husband's also in politics. He is the campaign manager for someone running for the Senate. To be a senator. So she decides, because she's been around politics all of her life, she has a lot of good ideas, she's going to help his opponent win just to get back at her cheating husband, Larry. And yeah, I think she finds out quickly that this guy is actually worth fighting for. Like, he's actually going to do great things for people. And also that it's not just about revenge. Like, she really enjoys this work. She can do things. Like, she's very capable. And it's amazing. 5 stars. It's amazing. Spread the news far and wide about Behind Every Good Man. The next book is one of my all-time favorite historical fiction. I've read it like 5 times. And it's Stars Over Clear Lake by Loretta Ellsworth. And this is basically about, it's based on, well, like most historical fiction. It is like based on true events. And this is during World War II, where Lorraine is living on a farm with her family in Iowa. And Clear Lake, Iowa, which is also, okay, side note, that the, what's it called? The ballroom there? I don't know if it says here. The real life ball, yeah, the ballroom where there was the last night where like Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper played, and then they crashed nearby. That actual like ballroom is part of this story as well, because that's kind of like a community center of Clear Lake. So if you kind of like the day the music died, if you're interested in that too, there's a tie to this kind of. But anyway, so she lives in Clear Lake, Iowa with her family, and the war has broken out. So her brother enlists, her parents are not for him enlisting, but he's about to turn 18. They're like, we can either sign his papers and like let him go, like support him, or he's just going to disappear and he's just going to go anyway. So the dad like supports him, even though he doesn't want him to go. And the mom is just like distraught, like cannot function because her son is going off to war. So he goes off, and they try to keep the farm up as best they can without the son there, without Lorraine's brother. So because they're really struggling to do so, there's this program where there's this program where World War II prisoners of war from Germany are being brought over to the U.S. to work on like farms, to like kind of fill in the gaps that all the like the enlisted men left, like in different sectors. And I didn't know until I read this book, but that actually happened, which is nuts. Like in the back of the book, it talks about like this program actually existed. I had no idea about that until I read this book. So her father enlists in this program because they need the help to keep the farm going. They need the manual labor. And so I can't remember, there's at least, I think there's 3 prisoners that come, and they come with like a guard and everything, and they do their stuff or whatever. And the mom cannot believe, like she is so angry at the dad for bringing these boys, these like enemies that could have like tried to kill her son a week ago or whatever. They're the enemy. Her son's literally over there fighting for them, and then we're feeding them here, like fighting them over there, and then we're feeding like the enemy here in our house, or not in our house, but like on their property and stuff, and like around our daughter. Like you're having these people around our daughter, and like she's like can't take it. So anyway, as times go by, some of them like you kind of see the human side to these like prisoner of war. Like a lot of them are just kids that went to war, just like kids on our side, or like the other side. Like the ally side went to war, and they are human beings, and they're not all like believe certain things and all this. I mean, they're not all great people, but typically one really young guy is like really tries to learn English and talk to Lorraine and everything. And yeah, they start liking each other, which is problematic for a lot of reasons. But then something happens where, it makes things a lot harder. We'll put it that way. And then also there's the kind of like real life or like acceptable love interest in her life, which is like a really popular boy at school who the mom is like, yes, this is like your like he is the boy you want to bring home. He's the boy we want you to marry. Like he is perfect. And she does like him. So yeah, time goes on, the war ends, things move forward, and I don't know, stuff happens. I just love this book so much. It actually makes me want to reread it like right now. Like I just love it. And it actually is like dual timeline, even though the vast majority of it, it's not 50-50. The vast majority of it is in the 40s. And then the rest of it is like a little bit like present day. And yeah, I just love it so much. The next book is actually the first book in the series, and that is Cursed Kingdom by Ember Blackthorn. And this is a romantasy reverse harem, my first reverse harem, guys. And I absolutely loved it. So I got the first book free on Amazon, and through a prompt pull for one of my prompt jar pulls, my TBR, I read it and was like, oh my God, I loved it. So basically it's about Goldie. That's her nickname. I can't remember her real name, and I hate that nickname. So I'd like to call her by her real name, but I can't remember what it is. Anyway, so Goldie lives in our world, and she's just like a normal, like, post-college girl. She gets invited to the masquerade party at, like, I think it's the Crestwood Manor, where these 3 billionaire brothers live. She has no connection to them, but her, like, online friends, so she loves writing, like, fan fiction. She's like a big, like some best friends that are online. If you know, you know, right? And they convince her to go to this party. Like, you've been invited to this, like, party. Like, you need to go and, like, report back. Like, what the heck happened? Like, what's it like and all of this. So she shows up, and throughout the night, she meets the 3 brothers, and come to find out that they're actually cursed, and they're cursed to our world, and she may be the key to helping them get back home and break the curse. So there is 4 or 5 books out. I've read the first 2. I need to keep reading because I love it, loving them. And yeah, eventually she goes on this, like, adventure to their world, and it just goes on and on and on, and there's all this stuff. So yeah, it's reverse harem for the 3 brothers. They're not actually brothers, they're like brothers by choice. But I think it's done really well. They're all very different, and not just like filling each, like, stereotype to make them like the blonde whatever one, like the dark and brooding one, like the grumpy one, or like whatever. Like, I think they feel genuinely their type. So that was nice, instead of just like checking a box for like this type of boy, this type of boy, this type of boy. So you can like pick your favorite depending on, like, I don't know, like what you like. But it felt like genuine. Yeah, so it's the first book in more. Somebody in my reading sprints was reading this, and I was like, okay, that looks good. And it was free on Amazon. I added it. I have heard nothing other than that. So thank you to the person in my reading sprints that brought this to my attention, because I never would have heard of this book otherwise, and you're welcome. The next book is Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields. I've liked a lot of other things that Ella Fields has written, but this is definitely my favorite of hers. So it starts out with, I can't remember anybody's names. I hate when they don't put the characters' names in, like, the thing. It's like, I loved him, or I loved whoever. Anyway, the girl, I can't remember her name. She falls in love with her brother's best friend when they're kids, or like young, and he's the lead singer of, like, her brother's band. And yeah, he can't commit because he's got addiction issues, and things end badly. And then she meets someone else in college, a baseball player who's, like, great and wonderful, but, you know, the ex rears his head again, as they tend to do. So it's like a very messy love triangle. Which I love. I love a messy love triangle. So people have either love or hate this book, I feel like. I have recommended it to some who like it, and some that are like, not for me. There are some tropes. I would say if you're interested in it, look up some of the tropes, because some of the tropes are, like, not for people. They don't like them, but I don't want to give it in this video because then that's like a spoiler. So yeah, just a very messy love triangle. I remember I looked at my review and I said I'm a little conflicted about the ending, but overall I loved all of, like, the drama and the feels throughout this book. So yeah, back and forth with a guy that's, like, not ready to commit, loves her, she loves him, but has got problems. And then the, like, perfect guy, but that might not be the one. Who knows? So I haven't heard much about this book either. The last book that I'm going to recommend, and I don't understand why people aren't talking about it, is Paper Hearts by Claire Contreras. So sorry. So it is actually number 2 in, like, the Hearts series, and I don't know why. I give this 5 stars, but I don't know why I haven't read the other ones. The other ones, I don't even know if they're I think they're interconnected, I think, but I don't know why I haven't explored the other books. And this is I also really need a reread for this one. So this is a second chance romance, which we love. It's about Mia and Jensen, who are first loves in college, and then Jensen leaves her to chase a career opportunity, which I think is a real, like, even a worse blow than some of these others, because it's like he chose to leave her. There's not like a big misunderstanding or like a bad choice. Like, it was like, oh, for a job. Like, I don't know. It feels like that like stings worse almost for just a job. So yeah, he breaks up with her and leaves for a job opportunity. And years later, they come back into each other's lives. And he has always regretted breaking up with her. But she doesn't trust him anymore. She's like, you know, he's you can feel bad about it, but you know, I don't trust you. So they're kind of like working together. She's a writer. I think he's a photojournalist or like something, and they have to like work together again after all these years, and they kind of like really examine the old wound that was left. He's trying to like kind of repent and like show that he's changed, and she doesn't trust him. So it's just this like working through that and see if they can work things out in the end. And yeah, I loved it. I feel like there was some good gravel in this book, which I love. Okay, so those are the books that came top of mind. I'm like, why aren't I hearing about these books on Booktube? Why aren't people like shouting off the rooftops about them? Well, I am right now. So let me know if you've read any of these books. And also let me know in the comments any of your underhyped books, because there's plenty that I don't know about and I want to know. I want to be in the know. So please let me know in the comments your underhyped books. Let's see. Yes, okay, I am very like excited now about telling you about all these books. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please be sure to stop into our reading and productivity sprints that we have about twice a week. Oh boy, in the description box below you can find my Instagram, Goodreads, wish list, all of the things. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go start one of these, maybe reread one of them right now. So I'll see you next time. Bye.